Most of us are spending hours scrolling, watching and consuming everyone else's ideas. And then we wonder why we feel stuck. And the truth is, the antidote isn't consuming more, it's actually creation. Whether that's writing, painting, or even creating YouTube videos. That shift from consumer to creator can change everything. And if you've been binging videos, wondering how to get started, this might be the one that actually gets you to take action. You've probably found yourself constantly consuming meaningless content and it's getting you nowhere. And if you've clicked on this video, that's probably the position you find yourself in. Making the shift from consuming to creation is going to reward you in a lot of different ways, and we're going to touch on that. First, I think it's important for us to understand why is it that we consume so much. The truth is, we actually didn't used to consume as much. If you go back generations, maybe to our grandparents' generation, for example, I mean, my grandparents, didn't have a television probably when they first had a family. They probably had the radio for entertainment. They probably read newspapers. But, you fast forward to the present day, and we have on-demand television, we have the internet, we have social media. There's content everywhere, and it's available on this tiny device that we carry in our pockets. And we are on platforms such as Facebook and Instagram that by design are trying to pull your attention away from what is really important in your life. So we were sold social media on the pretense that it would be good for networking, good for keeping in touch with our friends. And then at some point, social media kind of deviated from its North Star, and we find ourselves now almost addicted to these platforms. In fact, not almost addicted, I think we probably are addicted to these platforms, consuming content that isn't really giving us any real value. And it's not your fault, this is by design. We've been lured into these platforms on a promise, and they've gone off on a different route. And the reason for that is simple. The longer you spend on platforms, the more these platforms make from ads, from advertisers that pay to advertise on the platforms. And YouTube is kind of in that bracket, but I'll come on to why I think YouTube is a little bit different. So the reality is, it's not your fault. As I say, you've got this device and you're consuming content all the time, and that content isn't really giving you any real value. If we talk about dopamine for a second, now I didn't really know what dopamine was until social media came along and I started to look a little bit more into it. Dopamine, if we think every day we wake up with like a baseline of dopamine, let's just say that baseline is at 5, then you basically start to seek ways to boost your dopamine. And there's easy ways to achieve dopamine hits, and there are harder ways. And there's a difference to how they work. So what's dopamine doing for us? It's giving us a boost. It makes us feel good. And your body, your mind likes to feel good. So the more you're exposed to dopamine, the more you may want of it. So I talked about easy ways to get dopamine hits and harder ways. So I'm going to give you some relatable examples, and then I'll talk about how social media is impacted by that, or how you're impacted by it through social media. So a simple way to get a dopamine hit would be to eat a piece of chocolate. So you've all heard of like a sugar rush. So that's essentially dopamine. Your dopamine level will spike a little bit when you have a bar of chocolate. And we talked about like this kind of baseline level, just using the number 5 as an example. Having that bar of chocolate could boost that dopamine level to 6. And very quickly, you've also heard of a sugar crash, your dopamine level will drop again, but it won't go back to its baseline. It might go down to 4. So then you might go and grab a chocolate biscuit, and that might take it back up to 5 now, but then it's going to drop down to 3. And basically what that is doing is it's kind of easy wins in terms of dopamine. So anything like that is easily gained, but the effects don't last long, and in actual fact they leave you worse off. A harder way to achieve a dopamine hit would be going for a run, for example. So I used to do a lot of running, I used to run marathons, and I used to do a lot of training for marathons. And it was hard to go out for a run. Sometimes you didn't want to do it, even though you knew you had to. Maybe it was cold outside, it was a dark morning, it was raining, and it would have been easy just to stay in bed or easy to switch on the TV. But I would make myself do it. And the actual run itself would be hard. You know, you're exerting yourself, it's hard work. But I would get back, and that sense of accomplishment was good. You know, I felt good. My body felt good, my mind felt good. And what I didn't realize at the time is that that was dopamine at work. But the difference between going for a run and having the chocolate bar is that your dopamine level from going from a run actually spikes really high. And the added benefit of that is it takes longer then to get back to its baseline. So basically the impact of that is that your dopamine levels remain higher for longer. And if your dopamine levels are higher for longer, you don't seek alternate ways to keep topping up that dopamine. So I would go for a run, and maybe for the rest of the day, or at least the rest of the morning, I wouldn't feel the need to go and grab a chocolate bar. So let's apply that to social media. We go into our phones and load up Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever it is, and there's a bunch of short form content on there, kind of reels and that type of thing. And you might watch a reel, and momentarily it might make you feel good. It might be something that's funny, that gives you a quick laugh, but almost instantly the dopamine rise that you got from that starts to kind of come back down again. And the simple solution is to then just keep watching the next reel and the next reel. And as we said before, with those short bursts of dopamine, they're actually coming back down below where your baseline started. So if you wake up in the morning and immediately reach for your phone and go into Instagram, and start going through reels, then your dopamine levels are actually going to be going down below where you started. And that is not setting you up for a good day. So what I'm trying to say is that, dopamine levels, how we feel about ourselves, how good we feel, is really heavily influenced by what it is we do. So we kind of get lulled into this false sense of feeling good by consuming content, especially short form content, and it's actually having the opposite effect, because you might spend half an hour doom scrolling, and they call it doom scrolling for a reason, right? And you realize that actually I've just lost half an hour of my time, and I've got nothing to show for it. So if you can make the shift from consuming to creating something gives you that sense of accomplishment. And that, my channel's about YouTube growth, and I would apply that to making YouTube videos. The sense of accomplishment I get from creating a video and publishing it, and then seeing the response that I get to that video, and the communication that I have with the regular people who watch my videos, I get a real buzz from that. And that's giving me dopamine that's high spikes and long lasting. And as a result, I'm less inclined to want to go on Instagram, or I don't even have TikTok, but I'm less likely to go and start doom scrolling elsewhere. So, creating whatever outlet that might be, whether that's creating YouTube videos, whether it's writing a book, whether it's doing a painting or filming a documentary, whatever creative outlet that applies to you or that you're looking to pursue is going to give you a far better feeling than just mindlessly consuming content. Because if you're honest with yourself, the content that you're consuming, especially on short form content like Instagram and stuff like that, is it really serving you any purpose? What value are you getting from it? Because your time is precious, right? It is your most precious resource. And yet we seem to be happy to kind of just give it away and get nothing in return. Your time, if it's spent creating something that's going to help somebody and give you that sense of accomplishment, is a far better use of your time than just consuming mindless content. And I think it's weird, the fact that we're so willing to kind of part with our time on these platforms. If you had to sort of top up your balance, like let's just say you had Instagram and you top it up with £50, and as you watch reels, it takes £1 or £2 off every time, and you saw that balance depleting, you would probably think, geez, I've just spent 50 quid in the last half an hour. That was such a waste of money. Like, I got nothing from that. Yet you're quite happy for your time to be lost, and your time's more valuable than your money. You can make more money, but you can never get more time. You can't buy more time. Every second and minute of yours is precious in terms of how you spend it. And if you're not spending it with purpose and you're just consuming mindlessly, it's having a negative effect on you, and you're throwing your time away. So this video is really to encourage people to create whatever outlet they want to use. I specifically talk to people who are looking at creating a YouTube channel and creating videos, but this can really apply to anything. So it doesn't matter what you're thinking about creating. Whatever you're thinking about creating, just go ahead and do it. And that kind of brings me on to, well, what if I don't know how to create whatever it is I want to create? So let's say you really want to do painting and you don't know how to paint. Well, you can still consume content. I'm not telling you to stop consuming altogether, but that's where YouTube, I think, is different to Instagram and TikTok. YouTube, there are long form videos that are going to help you learn the skills you need to do the things that you want to do. So, you can consume, but consume with purpose. And if that is giving you value, i.e. it's teaching you skills that you need to create yourself, then that's a valuable use of your time. That said, you can fall into the trap of thinking, well, okay, I'm going to consume with purpose and I'm only going to consume content on painting. So learning different brush strokes, how to mix colours, that type of stuff. And then you find that you actually get a year on and you haven't actually created anything yet. So consume with purpose, but also practice what you learn, what you're consuming. Don't delay creating. Create as you learn. And if I was to apply that to YouTube videos, there's lots that I've learned since I started about how to light videos, how to edit, and that type of thing. But I learned that as I went, and I'm still learning. I'm not by any means an expert on any of the skills that you require to make YouTube videos. But I could have, and I did. I spent probably a year just learning about how to start YouTube channels rather than actually just starting it. So, consume with purpose, but also create alongside that. Hopefully this video has helped you, because I hope anyone that watches this video will take from this that they need to start making a change, making a shift in their lives. It's important, as I said at the beginning, to remember that we all have kind of fallen into this consumption trap. A large amount of us have done, and it isn't your fault. We live in this age now where there's just so much content to consume, and it's so easily accessible, and we've become a world of people that like convenience. So it is just too convenient for us now when we've got these devices in our pockets that we can just, unlock just by staring at the screen and have a host of different apps that can give us content. And it's almost like we've all walked into that blindly, and we've been parting with our time and getting nothing in return. So, my message to you, if you're still watching this, is that you have consumed enough, and now it is time for you to create. And that, whatever outlet that is for you, whatever it is that you used to do, perhaps before when you had more free time, perhaps before you started a family or started, working on your career. It could be something that you've been interested in that you've never actually started, but you've always wanted to give a try. Now's the time to do it. The best time to have done it was, years ago. But the next best time is now. Just whatever it is you want to do, whatever you've fancied trying, or whatever that you've said to yourself that you don't have time to do, by consuming less, you'll find the time to create more. It's as simple as that. And I really hope that that message sticks, because you will get far more value from creating something. And that could be creating something that you're selling to make money. It could be creating something that moves people. It could be a piece of art. It could be a story. It could be, I say, a book, a novel. It could be anything. It could be a legacy for your kids. You could sit like I'm sitting now and talk to a camera, but talk to your kids. Tell them about life. Be there for them in future years when you might not be around to be there for them in real time. Whatever it is you choose to do, you will get a far greater sense of accomplishment from actually creating, and it will hopefully stop you from wanting to consume as much, and you'll feel a lot better about yourself because you're actually using your time, your most precious resource, with a lot more purpose. And that's all I really had to say. This is a bit of a different video to what I've done in the past, and in my head I would normally be saying, I don't know if this video is going to do that well, if it's good for the YouTube algorithm, but I don't really care. This video is about trying to convey a really important message, I think, and hopefully if you've watched this far, you've taken it on board. I don't know how long this has been recording for, probably too long, so I'm going to call it there. But yeah, hopefully you've taken something from this. Let me know in the comments, what has been stopping you from creating. Have you fallen into this consumer trap? What would you like to do? What would you like to start? Is it a YouTube channel? Is it painting? Is it some form of art? What is it that excites you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what everyone wants to pursue, and take this as your call to action, to actually pursue that thing. Life is too short to just be mindlessly consuming on social media for someone else to profit from as well. Remember, these platforms make money, and they're making money from your time. Hi folks, sorry, about 20 seconds before I finished recording that video, my microphone died on me, which I didn't realise at the time. So I just wanted to add this in at the end. Hopefully you found the video useful. Do let me know in the comments what you are looking to do in terms of your creative outlet, and I hope that you take the message from this video and you go ahead and create more and consume less. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.